Privet, namaste, assalamu alaikum, ciao, konnichiwa, hola, bonjour, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Ken at 10 once more. How are you today? If you haven't joined us before, then welcome. Thanks for coming. We are James Alexander Estate Agents. We're based in Norbury, SW16, which is situated with Streatham to the north and Croydon to the south. So we're a bit of a thoroughfare, really. People don't really know where they are. So I always like to let you know. And we talk about property every day and what's going on, both locally and nationally. How are you? I hope you're well. Friday, really lovely day. I love a Friday. But first of all, Ukraine, just got to say, heart and thoughts and prayers and everything goes out to those brave people. People of Ukraine are just, they've demonstrated what brave people they are. The fact that there are some of them coming over here, we should be welcoming them with open arms. These are very, very brave, gutsy people. And I think we should respect them when they come over and do what we can to help. So much respect to those people out there and what they're doing. Such guts and such determination in the face of overwhelming odds. So fantastic people. And let's just hope it all ends sooner rather than later. Now spring is here. Friday's here. Yes. What have we seen? Well, first of all, the weather. Have you noticed? It's that little bit lighter, a little bit brighter. Look around. There are daffodils, great sign of springtime. And what I find is as it gets lighter, as it gets brighter, then we start to get the new instructions. This week, I was just about to go out and see what's on in my area to see if any other agents got any stock we might want, so we could write to clients. And what actually, before I got out the door, we had so many valuations coming in the door from people where they said, oh, you've been recommended to us. It was lovely. And one particular guy came in, and then it turned out that I knew his late father, and that was just such a privilege to meet him, because his late father was a great friend of mine. So yeah, had some great valuations come in yesterday and excited because it's Friday. We've got some terrific instructions as well this week that we're showing right the way through the range, including bungalows, which is really unusual for our area. A couple of detached bungalows on the market, and also right the way through to a really prestigious detached Spanish villa. So apart from that, it's springtime. So what should you be thinking about if you're a seller? You should be thinking about how to prepare your home. Why should you sell in the springtime? Well, the reason you should sell in the springtime is because you're more likely to be able to find somewhere to go. If you don't have to find anywhere to go, perhaps it doesn't matter to you. But if it does, and it does for most of us, then you need to be selling at a time when there's going to be things available. And at the moment, the big problem is a shortage of stock. I've always said us Brits are good at doing one thing when we're not sure. When in doubt, do nout. In other words, people are looking at fuel price rises, cost of living, inflation, Ukraine, world war, and it's scaring them, quite understandably. And therefore, many people that were considering a move are perhaps not so now. And for that reason, there's a lack of supply. Your best opportunity for securing a house to buy is springtime, because it's when the biggest level of supply comes up. So we do expect to see a release of new instructions into the market. Certainly we've got a few coming, and we hope to get a few more over the next few weeks. So springtime's a great time. And what should you be thinking about if you're a seller? There are a few little hints and tips. Photographs are one of the most important features. Of course, 90% of the information processed by our brains is pictorial. So therefore, getting the photographs right is really important. The most important shot is a front shot, making sure that front door is pristine. Make sure it's a color that's universally appealing as well. If it's gaudy and a bit bright and a bit Marmite, change it. Get it repainted, because if it is, you could be excluding 50% of the market if they hate the front door. So you never know. People do click on houses depending on the color of the front door, even, believe it or not. And we know that because sometimes we actually change around the front shots so that we put an internal shot rather than a front shot. And all of a sudden we get more clicks to the same property with a different shot. So definitely people do take notice. The visual impact of that first shot they see when they look on the big portals, Rightmove, Zoopla, on the market booming, is critical to the potential number of people that will want to view your house. Of course, there are other factors as well. The 3 Ps, as we call them: price, presentation, and promotion. They're all equally important. But when it comes to presentation, a few tips for you. Number one, vacuum and dust. It'd be amazing the amount of houses we go to show, and actually they just need a little vacuum and dust. It will make all the difference to the feel of the house, feeling more homely, more somewhere people would want to live. Clean the windows and mirrors. Now, with the windows particularly, mirrors are important because they reflect light back into the rooms, but the windows, they are the way that people see the light come into the home. So having them clean is important. But what's also important is making sure that you remove any obstacles. So if you do have some large photo frames, some large ornaments that are sitting on your windowsill, consider moving them, because that will shed more light into the room. And the amount of light into a room can really have an impact on the emotion of somebody looking at that particular room. If you've got a room that's dark, consider lamps to the rear end of the room where there's no windows. Try and get light into there and use light colors, particularly in darker areas. empty bins and put away all the half-used toiletries. The amount of times we go into bathrooms and kitchens and, you know, there's stuff on the side, you go upstairs and the toothbrush is still out. It just takes a minute, doesn't it? And it can make such a difference to the impression that you set. So make sure you do that. Also, tidy away any work. You know, if you've got your things like toys particularly and kitchen clutter, and particularly for the photographs, something that's really easy to do but can make a massive difference is we find quite a lot when we're going to family homes, as we often are, there's a very brightly colored toy in the corner of the room. It takes a minute to pick it up, move it out. And the reason it matters is because our eye is drawn in a photograph to the brightest thing in the room. So if you've got a bright red and yellow toy in the corner, but also a beautiful cast iron fireplace, the eye will actually be drawn to the toy, not the fireplace. So really important to move things like that around, tidy things up, make sure that it's as neat and tidy as it can be. Bearing in mind and notwithstanding, you've got to live there. We do respect that. And that's one of the reasons that when you go with us, we try and do it in a way that will be as little, the least intrusive way that we possibly can, so that we'll give you sort of set times when we'd like to do, so that you can get ready for those times and we can do them at staged intervals when you know, rather than have to run around every 5 minutes for different viewers. Candles, plants and flowers in the main reception room can make such a difference as well, just to give a visual impact and a feature, especially if they're a bit plain. Fruit bowls for the kitchen is an easy one. I mean, you know, the kids are going to eat the fruit anyway, right? So just to buy some fresh fruit, put it on the side there can make a huge difference to the feel of the room. Some nice oranges and yellows just in the fruit bowl there can really become a feature of that dining table or that work surface. Straighten up and plump all your soft furnishings as well. That can make it, and towels as well. Make sure they're fresh. And if you don't have any fresh ones, consider buying some. You know, they can come with you anyway, but some nice white fresh linen can really make a difference in towels particularly. Rugs on carpets. Most of the time they make a room feel quite small. So it's worth thinking about taking rugs away if you have any. Light bulbs, make sure the light bulbs are on and working. If you have a dark room, again, make sure that the power of the bulb matches the room. So if you do have a dark room, get a bright bulb, and think about those lamps as well. You know, some of those big, beautiful arc lamps are not that expensive in the likes of IKEA, but can really make a difference to a darker end of a room and make it feel more homely. And then the garden, of course, spruce up the garden furniture. Try and set it in a way that you would if you were having a barbecue, perhaps. You know, have the chairs out facing over the garden, perhaps a couple of glasses there, make it look inviting, clean it up. I know it's difficult this time of year because it's been a bit cold and dark, but it's starting to get bright now. So you don't have the excuse anymore. Get yourself out there and get it done. Mow that lawn as well. Just make it feel as good as it possibly can to get the best chance and the best opportunity at the best price you can get, because you're going to need it. You know why? Because the other end of your sale comes the purchase, and that's going to be a tough one because there's competition out there. So I hope that's helpful to you. We're always excited on a Friday. It's a great day. The reason it's a great day for us is it's when people organize their weekends being the single busiest day for viewings with us. So we find that Saturdays, particularly between about the hours of sort of 10 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, tend to be really popular. The most popular between 11 and 1. And those hours can be critical. So we want to make sure that any properties that we're selling, we've got your home in front of those eyes. We're having those discussions with people and telling them why they should be viewing yours as opposed to somebody else's home. So yeah, looking forward. We've got a busy day today on valuations as well. Sadly, a probate valuation as well, which is always a sad thing. It's always heartbreaking, losing a member of family. And you know, you never really get over it. You get used to it. I always say that. You do get used to it at the time, but you never get over it with loved ones particularly. So I hope that's helpful to you. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Look after yourselves and if you can, your family and friends. And we'll be back on Monday with another edition. Till then, take care. Ciao.